G'day, hi, and welcome. I don't know how much battery life I got left, but I'm just doing some sailing topic videos. I just did one on keels. It's kind of long. I get a bunch of series. We'll see how it goes, and if people like them, I'll keep making them. If they don't like them, I'm sure every nautical engineer will be chewing me out, saying, you got this wrong and you got that wrong. You could have summed that up in like 2 minutes and blah, blah. Okay, yeah. This is something that I've noticed. Okay, first off, I noticed there's a lot of sailing channels out there. Now, I'm coming to you from my Hughes 26E Random. I bought it in 2007, sailed it 2007, 2008, lived on it most of the summer of 2007, and pretty much all of 2008, spring right through till November 15th of that year. So I stayed at a yacht club, saw a lot of boats. I was at the Nepean Sailing Club in Ottawa. I got to know a lot of people, got a lot of good advice, and I got to see some boats. I used to help launch boats and stuff like that, so I got to puddle around on a few different types of boats, just going short distances on them. But just getting into so many boats, I would notice a whole bunch of different little things of, oh, hey, that's a nifty idea. Oh, geez, I wish my boat had this. Oh, and everything always became a compromise. From looking at the boat, there's a compromise. Is it pretty enough? Is it not pretty enough? Would I rather have a more reliable boat that's less pretty, or would I rather have a really pretty boat that's slow, or would I have a really pretty boat that's fast but uncomfortable? Like everything is a compromise, right? So that's what sailing is it's all about compromise and learning to live and maximize what you have and learning to live with what you got. But I'm watching these sailing channels, and they always come off something along the lines of, hi, we're a young couple, we're going to go out and buy a boat and sail around the world in 3 months and stuff like that. We have no sailing experience. Everybody thinks we're crazy. Well, there's a reason why people think you're crazy, because once you get into sailing, you'll understand why people think you're crazy. Like, yeah, you need to know a lot of stuff. It's not impossible to do. Anybody can do it, and I recommend if every person spent a day on a sailboat, I think we'd have a much more peaceful world. But that's just me. But the thing is that I see all these people making a lot of mistakes out of ignorance when they're just from the buying the boat point. They buy boats that they're not. They get swindled so easy. And I mean, once somebody, it's like selling a house. You could be buying a white elephant if they don't even know about surveyors. They don't know about the taxes. They don't know. It's the same as buying a house, just on a smaller scale. Is the best. So you got to cross your T's and dot your I's. But these boat channels, a lot of them I think are set up. I think there's like a boat sailing channel, cookie cutter factory. It's like, okay, we're going to produce this show. It's expert editing, and the boat's always some oh, it looks like a really rough boat, but when you wash it off, it's like, okay, that boat is pretty spectacular. Like, how does these 22-year-olds own a $250,000 boat? It's like, here's our budget boat. We're buying a budget blue water cruiser. It's like, why do they even use the term budget? Number one, there is no such thing as a budget boat. They're all expensive. Even the boats like this are expensive. So I'm watching all these people. I was watching a couple. I guess they were in the UK or someplace like that. They had bought a boat from a guy, okay, and it was like one of those cheapy boats, probably a few $1,000 or whatever, a deal too good to be true, right? And what I'll say is, if there's a boat in a boatyard somewhere, okay, and you're going to see it or whatever, you're going to have to kind of do a little bit of maturity here. But one of the things you're going to have to do is talk to people at the boatyard before the people that you're going to show the boat, or the broker that's going to show the boat. Number one, if you go into a yacht club and you get recommendations, you're going to find out who the crooked brokers are. The first guy I bought my boat from wasn't too bad, but I don't think I'd use him again. The second guy was fantastic. The guy that sold me this boat, that broker was fine. But a lot of people say, yeah, deal with Larry. Don't deal with, I can't remember the other guy's name there. But yeah, he was screwing people all the time. And the thing is because there's a way that these guys can transfer the boat and get their commission, and like, they don't own the boat. The broker doesn't own the boat. So when that broker sells you the boat, whatever problems are with that boat, whatever liens are on that boat, that's not his problem. That's your problem now. He's only there to show the boat and get the commission. That's it. So unfortunately, people do that. I don't know why people do that, because again, you hurt your own business when you do that. But you know, it's like the used car salesman, right? So I'm watching this couple. They bought a boat. The guy lied about the boat. The boat was basically considered not seaworthy ever again. You know, so the kids thought they were going to buy a boat and fix it up, but they didn't realize that, you know, there's actually marine codes to, you know, like that boat. It's not just a matter of, hey, we fixed it up and we repainted and we did this. It's like, no, that boat is considered not seaworthy ever again. There's some whatever the issue was with the boat, I don't know, but maybe that, you know, like the deck was rotted or whatever. So whenever you see these free boats, these fixer up the boats for $1, there's a reason why they're giving these boats away. The $1 issue is basically, here's a boat, to transfer the name, it costs $1, just to say there was a transaction. You do it with a car, you do it with a house, you do it with anything. Anything that has a title, basically, I could buy it from you for $1 or $1 million. Doesn't matter. It's just so that there was an exchange, that's all. So that's what that whole dollar boat's about. The dollar boat is basically, you know, it's to catch views, I get that. And like I say, there's a lot of sailing channels that I do believe are, you know, they're mad. I don't mind them. I mean, they're nice to watch and everything like that. But you know, they're a little bit contrived or whatever. But then there's the people that watch these videos, and then they go out and they don't realize what they're getting themselves into because they think they're getting, you know, this fantastic boat for $1, and they don't realize that boat for $1 may never be seaworthy to put in. Like, no marine surveyor will ever survey it or pass the survey. And, you know, you should have talked to some people before you do that, because you go to talk to people at the yacht club, they'll tell you what boats to stay away from. They'll also say, well, okay, that's not a bad boat, but it's, you know, it's kind of bland in performance or whatever. Those are just opinions. But the ones that, oh no, that boat that's got run aground and it got struck by lightning, the whole hull's pretty much, you know, crumbling away, like ferro cement boats. You can find those things for free all over the place because they fall apart right in front of you. So some countries won't, if your boat doesn't have a survey, you can't go into that border. Like, I mean, there's a lot of stuff to learn. So the best thing I would recommend to anybody that wants to buy a boat and sail around the world, first off, save a little bit of money, okay? Hold that plan off for a year. Go to a yacht club, take some lessons. Start with a dinghy if you have to. See if you like sailing. And trust me, if you start with a dinghy, the boat you think you're going to buy now is not going to be the boat you're going to buy. You're going to look at sailing totally different. When you know how to sail, then you know, the performance of the boat does matter. Then the quality of the boat, of the rigging does matter. All that stuff matters anyway, but it gets to the point where you look at it differently, where it's just not about buy the thing that looks the safest. You know what I mean? You're going to buy based on something that, okay, maybe be comfortable, whatever, but you're going to buy something that's going to basically suit your needs. And you're not going to know what your needs are until you actually sail a few boats. Go sailing on a few boats. So when I see these people getting screwed over buying bad boat deals, again, I did a thing on how to buy a boat. There's a lot of videos out there on how to buy a boat. But go into your yacht club, ask some questions on, hey, look, I'm looking to get into sailing. Anybody want to take me out? I'll even pay you for the day or whatever. And yeah, you can do that. Charter a boat if you can, whatever. It doesn't have to be a big boat. Like, just go out on a 25-footer or 26-footer like this, 22-footer, whatever. Learn the ropes. So, pardon the pun, but learn the ropes. And then what you'll find out is that, hey, you know what? Maybe this thing might require a little bit more knowledge before I just jump into it. Because I also see a lot of people, they buy a boat and that's like, well, we got to live with it now because we bought it. And then it's like, we got this boat for free. Okay, now this free boat that was probably worth, say, I don't know, 10 grand in mint condition is now cost them $30,000 of repairs. You know what I mean? What do you do? You know, like, you're never going to recoup your money on the resale, and you're going to spend, you know, months and months, maybe even years fixing it up. And the second you buy a boat, if it's not ready to go and you're not ready to go, well, you're going to still have to stay working. You just, and to pay somebody to fix up your boat for you, it's a very expensive thing. So just be careful when you're doing that. So don't be too lulled in by all these romantic, sailing channels. They're great to watch and all that, but understand there's a lot of stuff that goes behind the scenes. The ones that are legit, like the constant maintenance, like, you get the highlight reels. That's all you get. You don't get the 16 hours of running back and forth to their stores and stuff like that, trying to get all these little parts and whatever, and just to sit there hours and hours of sanding and whatever it might be, working fiberglass, whatever it is. Yeah, you don't get all that. You just get the highlight reels. You don't get all the bad things that come along with it, you know? So, yeah, go get some experience first. I know I did it kind of the backwards way as well. That's why I'm telling people, like, okay, this is how that's the hard way to do it, is to buy the boat and then see if it works. But I did a lot of research, and I talked to a lot of people at yacht clubs for about 2 years before I bought my first sailboat, and everybody kept saying, well, your first sailboat, if it's going to be a 22 footer, get a Tanzer 22. Get a Tanzer 22, Tanzer 22, Tanzer 22. It's not the best at any one thing. It's a great jack of all trades. It's got a big cockpit, blah, 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 blah. Does that. And when you go to sell it, everybody's looking for one. Oh, okay. So it was just a matter of finding a good Tanzer 22, and I did. Then when it came to this boat, the Hughes 26, one guy told me, he says, you buy a Hughes. He says, they're nice boats, they're lovely boats, but you buy it, it's yours. But I was looking for this boat. And I know that people that look for Hughes 26s, that's all they're looking for is a Hughes 26. So it is one of those things. So just get some knowledge before you get into the romance of it, because I was watching like this young couple, and they're just like, they were happy they finally sold the boat. That was a nightmare for them. And there was nothing they could do. They were so screwed over, and they got screwed over by ignorance, mostly by themselves, not knowing what they were getting into. So look at everything. Go to the yacht clubs, talk to the people. A lot of people will tell you who to stay with and who to go for and whatever. And just research on how to buy a boat. All right, anyway, I'll go with that one.